Good morning and welcome to the Monday Morning Jumpstart. Hi, my name is Rory Peters and I'm the founder and CEO of Rory Peters International, as well as the Grow Your Business Like You Mean It live event. I'm a speaker, a sales and leadership trainer, and the author of Sell Like You Mean It. This week, we're going to talk about going back to basics. Back in my sales days, inevitably, sometime during the course of a year, I would get in a slump. I couldn't sell anything to save my life. And I would keep trying to push forward, doing my best, trying to close a sale, and it just wouldn't work. No matter what I tried, it wouldn't work. But sooner or later, I realized I needed to go back to basics. And what does that mean? In every profession, in every endeavor, there are always basics that if you know those basics and you go back to those basics, it's like leaving a breadcrumb trail. You can always follow it to find your way back home. And for me, for example, I had a 5-step process in the sales close. I knew if I did these 5 steps, the greeting, ask the right questions, the features and benefits, the way I describe things, if I did everything the way I'm supposed to do it, I would succeed. But what happens? Over time, we start out like a perfect square. But as time goes on, we start shaving the corners a little bit. And each time we shave them a little bit more. And if we're not careful, we're not paying attention, sooner or later, we're a circle, not a square. So it's important that you know what your basics are. You can't go back to basics if you don't know what they are. So in whatever field you're in, whatever profession you're in, whatever career you're in, you know what your basics are. You know that there's certain things, if you do them the right way, and you know what the right way is, that more times than not, you're going to succeed. And if you find yourself in a situation where it's not working, it's not working, it's not working, go back to the basics. We've been told by every teacher we've ever had, every coach we've ever had, that you've got to know the fundamentals. You've got to have those nailed down. And the reason is, they're like a beacon that leads you home. If you do the fundamentals right, you're going to succeed. And if you find yourself getting off track, you've got to be able to go back to your fundamentals. You've got to know what that is. So again, for me, it was that 5-step process. And as soon as I realized, all right, I got to go back to basics, and I started following that 5-step process once again, voila. I'm back to normal. Everything's smoothing and I'm closing far more than I'm not. But I had to go back to the basics. Now the question is, how long did it take me to figure that out? Sometimes pretty quickly, sometimes not as quickly as I'd like. But either way, I realized that that's what I needed to do. Baseball players, for example, are no different. A really good hitter will inevitably, at some time during the season, will get in a slump. And once again, once they realize it's a slump, I'm not just didn't get a hit for a couple games, but it's now like 4 games or 5 games you haven't got a hit. They're going to get together with their batting coach and they're going to figure out what has changed. What am I doing differently now? What corners have I cut? What have I shaved off that I need to go back to the basics? And their batting coach will work with them and say, okay, you used to step this way, now you're not. Or you used to hold for just a split second longer, now you're not. You're not being patient enough. Whatever it is for that particular hitter, the coach would let them know what their basics are and that they've drifted away from that. Again, this is something we will all do. We will always start to drift. Very few of us are capable of doing it the exact right way every single time. And that's okay. That's part of human nature. But you've also got to be aware then how to course correct. And you've got to be self-aware enough to know that it's time to do that. Because if you just keep trying to push through it, it may be a long time before you figure it out. So know what your basics are. Know what it is that allows you to succeed. So that if you start cutting corners or shaving off edges, and you begin to realize that you need a course correction, you need to go back to basics, that you know what those basics are, so you can snap right into that mode and take up where you had left off before. So once again, the key is to know what your basics are and to not be afraid or not be too proud to go back to those basics. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to catch us next week for a brand new Monday Morning Jumpstart. Take care and have a phenomenal week.